Hi everyone, I'm Daniel, and today we're going to talk very briefly about this new card Fedora, which was previewed last week as being part of the new Core 2026 set for Arkham Horror, the card game. Now, one thing that's really exciting about this card, because the rest of it isn't, is this new slot right there. It's the hat slot. And, well, I don't know what's called the hat slot, but it begs the question, why do we need a new slot in the game? Base game came with the hand slots, the body slots, the arcane slots, and at one point we did get a new slot in the Circle Undone, the Tarot slot. More on that later, but hey, now we have a hat slot. So let's talk about why. Remember a few sets ago where we had the masks from Hemlock Vale? One thing that's interesting about them is that they say limit one mask per investigator. So why didn't they do something like that for the Fedora? Why doesn't it say limit one apparel or one hat per investigator? Now, you may not know this, but the rules regarding this limit one mask per investigator entailed that you couldn't actually play a mask when there was already a mask in play. So check out this from the rules FAQ. Limits pertain to play areas. Some limits may pertain to a particular play area, such as limit one per deck or limit one in play. This is the limit one mask per investigator means in play. This limit restricts the number of copies of that card by title that can exist in the specified play area, so one in play. Another copy of that card cannot enter the specified play area if this limit has already been reached. So if you already have one mask and you want to play, say, another wolf mask over it because this one is empty of offerings, you can't do that. You cannot try to play a mask when there's already a mask in play. The only way to play a mask from your hand once there's already one in play is for it to be discarded some way. So people like to use it as crypt chill fodder or using something like Joey the Rat to discard the asset from play. All right, that's what limit one, whatever the trait is, per investigator means. We have this for composures. There's a few specific ones for cards like Dark Horse and Well Connected, but this is a bit of a confusing rule, right? Now, when we look at, for example, the mask compared to the Fedora, there's a difference because there's a slot. Now, the slot rules say that if playing or gaining control of an asset would put an investigator above his or her slot limit for that type of asset, the investigator must choose and discard other assets under his or her control simultaneously with the new asset entering the slot. So let's say you have Fedora, and you want to play another Fedora over it. There's no real reason to do that with this particular card, but you could do it. You're allowed to discard the Fedora in play, putting a new one in. So assumption with this new slot is that there will be other headwear to play. Probably not in neutral, but maybe we'll get them in the different classes. And maybe they have some other ability that would make you want to switch which hat you're wearing. And you can do that with this slot rule. You wouldn't be able to do it with the masks or that particular wording on the masks, but here this allows you to have only one hat in play, but you're allowed to switch them without running afoul of the rules. Now, remember, I had mentioned the tarot cards. The reason the tarot cards had their own slot was basically to have some interplay with the tarot cards and the tower weakness. So essentially, if the tower, that's the weakness over there, had limit one tarot in play, you could never play the Four of Cups over it. It's just totally screws up your deck plan if you ever wanted one of these other tarot cards. So in order for this to work, of course, the other part of it is if you had the Four of Cups first and then threw the tower in your hand, you could never play the tower, which is also really bad. So I suspect that we're going to get a weakness that is similar to this idea of the tarot cards. Maybe we'll get some kind of a, I don't know, hair on fire weakness at some point. This just allows, again, you to play something over the original card in play. It's a bit reminiscent of the issue where you have unique cards. So unique cards are different because the unique symbol prevents you from putting another card with the exact same title into play. So pretend you have Alice Luxley here. You have one damage and one horror on her. You want to put another copy of her into play because you're essentially refreshing her health. You can't do it because she's unique. You could do it with other things like a beat cop, which has no unique symbol on it. You can essentially play over one that already exists. But for Alice, just like the masks, you cannot even try to put one into play. So the only way to do that, of course, is to get her killed off first, get her defeated, then play another copy of her from your hand. I guess that's about it. Let's just look at that Fedora one more time. And again, there's nothing exciting about this card. It's probably not great for the 1/1 soak, but I suspect we'll get some other abilities on other headwear cards coming hopefully in the core set. Otherwise, this doesn't matter too much. Um, and probably in those core investigator decks, maybe in the evergreen starter decks that we're going to get next year around the same time too. So nice to put this in the core set so they have the rules there for the slot. And of course, this compels them to print more cards for the slot going into the future. That's it. Hopefully, you're not confused about the slot rules anymore. I'll see you in another future video.